Hey everybody, it's Saratoga, and this is your weekly focus card reading for the week beginning October 5th through October 11th, 2020. And if you're a new subscriber to my channel, welcome, and you should know that I do this every Sunday so that we can reset our energy and know what to focus on for the week in front of us. And then on Tuesdays and Fridays, I do my regular on-camera videos. Okay, so let us get started on this week's reading. So this card says action, and there are two horses, obviously. One is white and one is black. So if you notice, the black horse is moving much more slowly and the white horse is moving more quickly. To me, for this reading, these horses really represent the two different timelines in our ascension process. So the darker horse would represent the lower timeline of density. There's more darkness, there's not as much, well, there's very little light when you get to the lowest part of that timeline. And then the white horse would represent a higher, more accelerated timeline where manifestation is faster, it's at a higher level of positive energy, and that is the horse that is showing the most movement right now. So we're kind of being advised to take action, to take focused action in any way that we can that is going to move us to that higher timeline. And I also want you to notice the two trees on this image. The tree on the left, it doesn't have as many leaves. It looks a little more sparse. It looks almost like it could be a little bit stressed. Whereas the tree on the right is just full of abundance and abundant energy. So when you're on that lower timeline of what some might refer to as darkness, a timeline of darkness, there's a lot more strain, there's a lot more stress, everything's heavier, everything's more difficult, and that's why that darker horse appears to be moving more slowly. Now, when you're on a higher timeline, there's greater abundance, there's greater flow, everything moves more quickly, manifestation is much more instantaneous, and manifestation is obviously going to be a lot more positive and a lot more in alignment with your higher self and with who you really are as a cosmic infinite being of love. So this is really a simple statement overall. I think it's interesting this is showing up for this week because I think this week is probably going to have a fair amount of chaos to it in the outer world. And I think October overall is going to. And it's really important that, let me mention one other thing that just came to me about this image, you guys. If you notice, this image it's a peaceful setting. It's a setting in nature. There doesn't appear to be any turmoil in this setting. So in other words, there's a sense of clarity of purpose, clarity of action. So I think that's another message coming to us. Don't get caught up in all of the chaos. Don't get caught up in being reactive to all the chaos. You want to put your consciousness in that clear space of nature. Just like in this image, you see the moving from the lower timeline to the higher timeline in a very clear space in the natural world. So it looks like there could be some clouds far off in the distance, but they're not really where these two horses are. So those clouds far in the distance could represent, all the chaos in the world. That's over there. That's not what I'm focused on. My consciousness is aligned with nature. It's aligned with the truth of who I really am. And my actions, my focused action this week and beyond, of course, is all about being focused and taking action in the direction of that higher timeline in my life. This is also about manifestation, because how do you know if you're moving towards a higher timeline? How do you know? What are the signs? Because moving to a higher timeline, you guys, is a process. It's not like you wake up one day and you're on this very high, 5D timeline. It's a process. It's an ongoing, moment by moment, day by day, week by week process. So you want to think of it as you're in a very focused process. You're taking action to manifest. Sorry guys, I got a little bit sidetracked with that. What I wanted to say is, how do you know that you are moving towards a higher timeline? You know by how your life is manifesting. That's where you see the evidence that you are successfully moving in that direction. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything circumstantially has to physically change right away, but the way you'll notice it is when your experience starts to change, when you're feeling more hopeful, more optimistic, more positive. You're sort of like in a flow of grace. You're in a flow of positive energy. You have, in other words, even if your circumstances aren't so great right now, you're feeling more optimistic that you can foresee a positive change in those circumstances in the road ahead of you. So those are all little signs that you can look for. Maybe I'll do another video, a video on YouTube here on camera, and I'll talk more about that, how you know if you're moving to a higher timeline. But for now, just think of it in that way. You kind of sense it by your experience, and you can see it by how your life is unfolding in better and better ways. Now, don't be alarmed if your life is not unfolding in better ways at the moment, because it probably means there's just more that you need to process, more that you need to learn, more that you need to experience and understand. And that's part of the process too. So it's not like you're in a bad place. So don't be concerned if you don't feel like there's any movement right at the moment. Okay, so let me talk about the crystal in this setting. This is a citrine quartz. It's natural citrine as opposed to heated citrine. It has been obviously cut, but you can see by all of the inclusions that it's it's natural citrine. Now I don't know, on video it looks a little more like clear quartz, but actually in person it's more, it has a golden hue to it. I wanted to put citrine here because citrine as a stone is a perfect match to this card. Citrine is all about action and manifestation, so what could be better, right? Citrine it's very powerful for purifying your sense of will, your sense of willing or manifesting something. Like if there's stuff in the way of your ability to manifest, citrine is a wonderful stone to purify your energy in that regard. And it also is very good at assisting in taking action, any action that you need to take to go beyond or transcend difficult situations. Citrine is very empowering in that way. So if you've ever feel like you have any sort of difficult tasks in front of you, you need to feel more motivated, you need to take physical action, if you have a piece of citrine, just, meditate with it or keep it with you. It may assist you energetically in going forward. And of course, I have the candle, which represents the light, and the white horse is headed right towards the light. So putting all of this together, this is really a very simple message, but it's also a powerful message. And you know what? Sometimes I think a simple message is really important in times of chaos, like what we're experiencing on this planet right now. A simple message helps us to focus. It helps us to experience clarity in exactly what we're trying to do. So if you want to put this all together for this week, then you can just think of it as, I'm just going to really focus this week on moving my life to a higher timeline and moving what I manifest to something that is more representative of a higher timeline, that is more in alignment with the higher timeline. And as far as the chaos in the world is concerned, let it be like those distant clouds in this image, that it's not really a part of your focus, your focused action. Your focused action should be aligned with your ascension process. That is a massive, huge cosmic process. It's much, much, much bigger than all of the human chaos on our planet. So when you align with that energy, you're going to feel so much better, so much more clear, and so much more transcendent of what's happening on the surface of the planet with all of the human civilization. Okay, so that's it for this week, and I hope you guys have a beautiful week ahead. Stay focused, take whatever action you can, and one more thing, action can also be internal. You can take action within yourself. You can take action about old beliefs. You can take action when it comes to changing habits that do not serve you. There are all kinds of actions you can take internally and externally. So I just wanted to add that on at the end, so you're clear that action is very individual, it's very personalized, and you can, when you know that you're trying to move to that higher timeline, you will be clear what it is that you need to do for yourself in that regard as we go forward into this new week in front of us. Okay, so again, wishing you guys a beautiful week ahead. Stay peaceful, stay loving, stay kind, and I will see you all in the next video. Namaste, everyone.